Hey, it's Gabriel and welcome to what? So I'm in my 7th year in the Faculty of Medicine and Pharmacy here in Rabat. I'm also a videographer on the side. Well, I feel like this is the right moment to tell you about learning 6 hours straight without getting bored. Because this is the moment in my medical school life where I'm learning a lot because I have these exams coming up, which is a very competitive exams, which the whole nation comes together to write here in Morocco in order to specialize. So I feel like this is the right moment to talk about the techniques I use in order not to forget about it when I eventually get so busy. So I'm going to get straight into the video and talk about these techniques. But before I do that, please do well to subscribe to this channel if you haven't yet. And if you feel like these videos of mine give you value, then you have no reason not to subscribe. Just please do well and subscribe. And then again, leave a like because it always goes a very long way to help the YouTube channel grow. I mean, I'm talking too much. Let's get straight into it. So my number one tip I will give you guys, what I did before I started learning was first of all identifying my style of learning. So if you are someone who loves to read, or you love to listen, or you love to watch videos on whatever concept is that you are learning, then that's your style. That's what you have to identify first, because it is with that you are going to look for the resources to learn with. That's number one. You have to identify your style of reading. So for my style of reading, it's about writing, because look, the exams I'm going to write also determines how you are going to learn. The exams you are going to write is something you are going to write. It's not something you are going to spit out, right? So that's why you have to learn how to write, and it's time bound. You have to learn how to write faster as well and precisely. So that's the main reason why for me, I have a notebook on the side and also a book in which I write in. So all I do is, for the first time, I'll have to write whatever is in the book and summarize what's really important. Then again, I'm also a visual learner. I love to, watch the thing happening. So when it comes to maybe some aspect of whatever you are learning, it's not everything that you have to watch videos for. If you are learning anatomy, definitely you need a visual. So you need to watch it on screen. So you will see me having my laptop in front of me, my book on the side, and also my notebook on the side, so that I can visualize whatever that I'm learning when it comes to anatomy in order to know how to summarize it. So you have to identify your style. It's very, very important. So what I did was to make my learning very interactive. They could have just said, Gabriel, look, you are very vocal when it comes to, answering a question or whatever. You're very confident. So just go and pick up any specialization of your choice. But it doesn't work that way. You have to, prove to them that you merit it. That's why there's a need for you to learn for it. And so that's why the learning is very essential, but very difficult to do. But then you have to make it very interactive, because it makes it look exciting and not that like you are working. You get it? So how do you make it very interactive? Look, when you go to class, your teacher will tell you, we are going to make this learning very interactive by asking you questions and answering and discussing. Well, you can do it, because sometimes I do it, but then someone somewhere will think you are going mad. So that's why you need to set up quizzes for yourself. Maybe on your screen, you go to, I'll talk about the apps I normally use. You go up and then, find these applications that, ask you questions based on the thing you just learned. Sometimes you can question yourself to know if, but then what happens is that when you question yourself, you become biased. That's what I realized. I ask the questions that I know answers to very quickly. But then if you are using the application, it brings out questions that, you are not anticipating, and so you are not biased. So that's how it goes. Ask yourself questions. That's how you make it very interactive. It's not just about reading, pushing your head into the book and then writing all over the time. No, close the book, make it interactive. Ask questions yourself, discuss it, go around the whole topic. I mean, before I even start learning, I take the concept and then what is it about? Why am I even learning it? That's how you make it interactive. Don't just go straight and then start reading whatever you're reading. If let's say you are going to learn about the anatomy of the aorta, why are you learning it? That should be the main reason why. You should know what to know. You get it? So if you know the reason why you are learning it, then it should tell you what to learn. That's it. So that's one thing I always do. I make my learning very, very interactive, and it becomes very exciting instead of boring. So I think there's something you can adapt. Ask yourself questions. Set a clear goal. Now, when I'm studying, it's not just about the goal. If it was just about the goal, it should have been how many topics I'll be able to finish by the end of the day. But this time around, it's about clear goal. Now, I don't actually look at the number of topics I'll be able to finish, but what I'll be able to learn in each topic. Now, before I start learning, I have my goal. I have my objectives. Why am I learning this? That's why I feel like there's a need for me to do a video on what to learn and what not to learn when it comes to studying. Look, there are objectives. There's even a reason why teachers normally talk about the objective before they start teaching, because that's the motivation. At the end of the day, when treatment is part of the objective of the study, then when you are getting towards treatment, you feel like, no, I have to finish hard. So that is a way of keeping you motivated and getting you away from boredom. Because when you have a clear goal, that means you know what you are looking forward to. And so you don't just learn everything that will make you eventually bored. You have what you are tackling. So set a clear goal. That's what I normally do before I start learning. This is the reason why I'm studying, and this is what I should get at the end of the day. So when you set a clear goal, you are motivated. Your brain is geared towards that. And so you don't get bored at the end of the day. Make the learning entertaining. This is one of the many things I've adapted and has gone a very long way to help me. I realize this when I normally play game. I don't get tired. I don't get bored. I can play the game over and over again. And one thing I love doing is editing. That too as well. I don't get bored. Then I realized that no, it's because my learning is not entertaining. That's why I need to adapt a way to make it very entertaining. That is why there's a need for you to gamify your learning. When I mean gamify your learning, I mean make it competitive, right? Now, we students, we definitely love competition, but at the end of the day, you will be like, no, it's something that will show you that you are better than someone, and so it should be abolished. When you put yourself in a competition, it makes it entertaining. That's all it is about. Now, when you play game with someone, you are in a competition, right? And you feel like you need to win this person. That is how it makes it so entertaining. So put yourself in a competition. Time yourself. That's one way to put yourself in a competition. Let's say right now my exams is basically about answering a question within 30 minutes. I just set a timer and start writing and make sure that I finish within 30 minutes. And so it's a kind of competition which makes it very entertaining. And by the time you realize, you are no longer bored, and then you keep on learning and learning, because at the end of the day, it's 30 minutes and then you are in a competition. By the time you realize, you've done about tons of 30 minutes. So that's it. Make it competitive. Make your learning entertaining. Mix up your resources. There's something I do personally. That's why I need to tell you guys. Maybe you are someone who is just about books and you are stick to books reading. It gets boring. Now, in my case, I normally change topics. That's what I do. Instead of changing resources, maybe I'll learn a little bit of biology, a little bit of anatomy, a little bit of pathology. That's how I go about it. But at the end of the day, you have to change resources. Let's say today you are dealing with podcasts. Now, this goes to a lot of people, not medical students. You are dealing with podcasts. Tomorrow you can read. Other time you can use visuals. So that's how it is. Maybe you have a flashcard you can use. So just try and mix it up a little bit. Shouldn't be one way, because when it happens that way, it's boring. That's why when you keep on doing the same thing over and over again, it gets boring. So try and mix it up a little bit. In my case, I changed the subject I'm studying. That's how I mix it up, and not the resources. So if you are someone who wants to adapt my way of learning, then you should try and mix it up a little bit. I mean, the subjects you are studying, a little bit of maybe anatomy, a little bit of biology, just like that. You shouldn't learn biology the whole day because it gets boring. Trust me. That's why there's even a reason why timetables are mixed up with different subjects, and not the only, subject you can see that the whole day you are going to learn anatomy. Take breaks. This is something most of you have heard countless times. Now, what I normally do is people will tell you, look, walk around a little bit, but I dance. Basically, I play music and then I dance to it. I scroll on social media a little bit and know what's happening around me and laugh a little bit. Yours can be about eating, snack or something. Just make sure that you leave the book a little bit and come back. Aside the fact that it has its health benefit, it also makes learning interesting. And there you go. So try and incorporate this in your learning schedule. Try and add short breaks, because it's very, very necessary and efficient. Be curious, because a curious mind is actually an engaged mind, right? Now, when you are learning something, try and explore deeper. I know it's very annoying when you are talking about the details, but then try and explore deeper. Ask yourself, why is it like this? That is how, your learning becomes so interesting to you. Try and ask yourself these questions each and every time. Why is it this way? Why is it that way? Be curious. It's very important. So you should consider that when you are learning, and it will actually not make your learning very boring. Just like me, I always ask myself the reasons why I'm asking. Because that's it. That's why you are learning. If you don't know the reason why you are learning something, then why are you learning it? So you should always ask yourself that question. The reasons. Why this? Why that? Why is it this way or that? It's very, very important. Connect with others. Now, this is something me personally, I can't, because when I'm learning, I always make it very interactive by talking to myself, which will distract others. But if you are someone who can learn in group, learn online, you should do that. I know there are tons of videos where people talk about the fact that you should study with me and then you guys do it together whilst the video is being played. You can do that if you are someone who loves to learn in group, because that kind of thing motivates you. I have a friend who is also studying for the same kind of exam as I am. So we kind of motivate ourselves and it's very helpful. Well, it prevents me to, talk to myself to make my learning very interactive. Unless I have to wait for him to leave the room, that's when I start talking to myself. So if you are someone who can learn in a group, maybe you can do it online. I don't know. Gather at a particular place and then discuss whatever you are learning, because it goes a very long way to help. This I realized when I was in my first year. I normally study in group. Now, when you ask your colleague a question, it sticks in the brain faster than, reading it and chewing it. You remember the person's name. There's somebody you see most of the time. So this question remains with you the moment you remember this person. So let's say if it was, you were talking to Michael, or you asked the question, Michael, the moment you remember Michael, you remember the question and you remember the answer. That's why it's very, very important to study in group, because it goes a very long way to help you as an individual, make learning very interesting. And lastly, I'm going to talk about rewarding yourself. Look, I know it's something me personally I don't do. When I ace my results, I don't care. I feel like in African homes, that's it. It's our responsibility to pass exams, but you should try and reward yourself. You've achieved something that you should be happy for. Celebrate it. Go to the restaurant, eat with friends, be happy over it. And I promise you guys, when I write these exams and it goes well, I'm going to celebrate it. That's how you actually make the learning keep going. I'm going to celebrate it. You know why? The fact that I'm going to celebrate it will make me focus more on learning in order to pass, because we all like enjoyment. Who doesn't like it? And so basically that helps a lot. Try and celebrate it. Anytime you celebrate your victory, it pushes you to do more, because you would want to celebrate over and over again. So try and celebrate. It's very, very important. Basically, learning shouldn't be boring, except you yourself, you want to make it boring. So with these tips, I hope you are going to, change your learning journey, because it's very, very important. Like I said, learning is basically important. I have done a lot of videos that I talk about learning and improving on yourself. So if you're someone who cannot learn, then you can improve on yourself. So try and make it enjoyable. If you find this video helpful, give it a thumbs up. And also don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Well, you can also leave a comment in the comment section on how you are able to overcome boredom when learning, because it will go a very long way to help others as well. This has been it. See you guys in the next one.